Hey Cowboys Nation! Today we are diving deep into everything going on with America's team. From player updates to strategic insights and performance breakdowns that could make or break the upcoming games. The NFC East has been an absolute battlefield this season. The gap between the Cowboys and the Eagles isn't that wide, and every play, every adjustment, and every injury can have a massive impact on how the rest of the season unfolds. The intensity is real, and the pressure is mounting, which makes it an exciting time to be following this team. The Cowboys are carrying a lot of momentum, but at the same time, the squad has to manage key injuries and ensure that the lineup on the field can handle the physical and mental challenges of this grueling NFL season. One of the biggest stories right now is all about Dearan Overshawn, a player who's been both a cornerstone and a source of concern for this defense due to past injuries. Last season, Overshawn suffered a serious ACL injury in Week 14, which was actually the second time in his career with the Cowboys that he tore this ligament. For context, during his rookie preseason, he also went through a similar devastating injury, which makes his comeback this season a significant storyline. There's no doubt that he is a game-changer for this defense. When he is on the field, he doesn't just make tackles. He commands the linebacker unit, reads plays in ways that other defenders struggle to match, and has a knack for creating turnovers at critical moments. His impact goes beyond stats. It elevates everyone around him. Recently, Overshawn shared some positive updates while participating in a community event in Central Texas, where he was helping pack toys and supplies for flood victims. He took the time to talk about his recovery and his potential return timeline. What stood out the most was his optimism. He mentioned that while Thanksgiving has been discussed as a possible return milestone, he is hopeful that he could be back on the field even before that. This is huge news for the Cowboys because the linebacker room has been facing challenges. While some players have been stepping up, the team clearly feels the absence of a leader like Overshawn when it comes to pass coverage in high-pressure situations. His presence is not just about filling a spot. It's about restoring balance and stability to a defense that has shown some cracks without him. Overshawn also gave insights into his rehab process, emphasizing that he is reaching the stage where the final clearance from his surgeon is nearly complete. Now, it's about easing back into football in a smart and sustainable way. He highlighted that his knee feels strong, his mobility is returning, and he's moving faster than expected. However, the key is timing. Returning too quickly could risk setbacks, especially given the history of multiple ACL injuries. The Cowboys coaching staff and medical team have been cautious, knowing that while fans are eager to see Overshawn back in action, rushing him could compromise his long-term performance and availability. Looking at the broader defense, Overshawn's role cannot be overstated. The linebacker group has been holding up, but in certain coverage situations, weaknesses have shown. Specific games have highlighted gaps where having Overshawn on the field could have prevented big plays by the opposition. Players like Kenneth Murray and other safeties have been solid at times, but the difference between a competent defense and an elite one often comes down to leaders like Overshawn who can read the offense and make split-second decisions that shift the momentum of a game. Last season, Overshawn led the team in tackles and recorded 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, a pick six, and even forced a fumble with a recovery. These numbers alone demonstrate his influence, but the intangible leadership and game-changing presence he brings are arguably even more valuable. The excitement around Overshawn's potential return also brings attention to how the Cowboys manage player recovery. Modern NFL teams are increasingly strategic about injury rehabilitation, balancing short-term needs with long-term performance. With a player like Overshawn, whose skill set is so critical to defensive schemes, the coaching staff must integrate him back slowly, ensuring that his agility, speed, and decision-making are fully restored before he faces the intensity of game day. This cautious approach is essential not just for the player's health, but also for the integrity of the team's defensive unit. The difference between a successful comeback and a setback can hinge on weeks of meticulous training, conditioning, and strategic on-field reps. Beyond Overshawn, the Cowboys are managing a series of other injuries that could affect upcoming matchups. Cornerbacks and linebackers have faced various setbacks, and the team has had to adapt continuously. Players like Don Bland have been sidelined due to foot injuries, and while the team expect him back soon, he remains a game-time decision for the near future. Trayvon Diggs, while listed as dealing with an illness, has also faced challenges in reaching full speed on the field. Injuries at the quarterback position have added another layer of complexity, forcing the coaching staff to consider backup options and adapt game plans to ensure the offense remains effective despite limited depth. The dynamic within the locker room is fascinating. When key players are injured, the responsibility often shifts to those who may not be as experienced or accustomed to high-pressure roles. This is where leadership from veterans and high-impact players like Overshawn becomes crucial. His potential return does not only boost defensive performance, it also injects confidence and stability into a team navigating a physically demanding stretch of the season. The synergy between players, the execution of complex defensive schemes, and the ability to respond to high-stakes situations all depend on having leaders who can perform under pressure and inspire those around them. From a strategic standpoint, the Cowboys coaching staff faces the challenge of integrating returning players without disrupting the rhythm and chemistry that the current lineup has established. While Overshawn's talent is undeniable, reintroducing him requires careful planning to maximize his impact. Playbooks may be adjusted, responsibilities reassigned, and communication protocols enhanced to ensure he can seamlessly return to peak performance. It's a delicate balance between leveraging his skills and maintaining the flow that the team has developed over weeks of practice and games. Fans and analysts alike are keeping a close eye on every practice update, every social media post, and every statement from the team regarding Overshawn's status. Even small indicators, such as seeing him without a leg sleeve during practice or hearing that he is moving with greater agility, generate waves of excitement. These signs are more than cosmetic. They reflect the hard work, discipline, and resilience required to return from a serious injury and compete at the highest level. With all this in mind, the anticipation for Overshawn's comeback is palpable. Fans are eagerly speculating whether he will play in the pivotal Thanksgiving matchup, how his return might shift defensive alignments, and what impact he will have on the team's ability to contend with top-tier NFC East opponents. Every game carries weight, and having a player of his caliber back on the field could be the difference between a dominant defensive showing and a unit struggling to cover for gaps. Continuing with the injury picture, the Cowboys' cornerback situation has been one of the more pressing concerns heading into the next few games. Don Bland, who has been sidelined with a foot injury, did not practice this week, and realistically, the timeline for his return is looking closer to next week rather than this weekend. His absence leaves a noticeable gap in the secondary, especially against teams with strong passing attacks. On the other hand, Trayvon Diggs, while not listed with a formal injury designation, has been dealing with a minor illness that kept him out of practice. While it may seem minor, these small setbacks can affect timing, coverage reads, and overall confidence on the field, particularly for a cornerback whose job demands split-second decisions and precise reactions to the opponent's routes. The quarterback room is also under strain, with more players listed as limited or unavailable than fully healthy. This forces the coaching staff to consider potential call-ups from the practice squad, ensuring that the team has enough depth to field a competitive roster. The reality is that quarterback injuries can ripple through the entire offense, affecting everything from timing with receivers to the complexity of play calling and even the confidence of the offensive line. When your key playmakers are limited, the game plan has to adapt, which is a challenge when facing high-caliber opponents who are looking to exploit any weakness. Tyler Gayton was another player listed as limited, dealing with a shoulder issue. Usually, limited practice designations mean the player is managing a lingering injury from previous games, and while it is not likely to prevent him from playing, it does indicate that the coaching staff is being cautious. Football is such a physically demanding sport that even minor injuries can snowball into bigger problems if not carefully managed. The Cowboys have been navigating this balancing act all season, trying to maintain peak performance while protecting the long-term health of their players. With all these moving pieces, the defense has had to adapt, and it's shown both resilience and vulnerability at different points. Certain games have highlighted the need for strong, disciplined play from every linebacker, cornerback, and safety. When Dearan Overshawn is on the field, the entire unit functions at a higher level. He has an innate ability to read the quarterback, anticipate plays, and close gaps that others might hesitate to fill. His return is more than just a boost to individual stats. It's a strategic advantage that could shift the balance in critical moments. The Cowboys have had flashes of brilliance in his absence, but consistency is harder to maintain without him anchoring the defense. Looking back at Overshawn's stats from last season, it's clear why his return is so eagerly anticipated. He recorded over 90 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, a pick six, and forced turnovers, including both a fumble recovery and a forced fumble. These numbers illustrate not just his physical impact, but also his ability to create game-changing plays that swing momentum. In a league where single moments can determine the outcome, having a player capable of turning defense into offense is invaluable. This makes his rehab timeline a story that fans, analysts, and the coaching staff are all watching closely. Beyond individual performance, the team's overall strategy has had to account for these absences. Defensive schemes have been adjusted, sometimes out of necessity, to compensate for missing pieces. This can mean altering coverage responsibilities, relying more on zone schemes rather than man-to-man, or adjusting blitz packages to ensure that opponents don't exploit mismatches. Every decision on the field is interconnected, and the absence of key players like Overshawn and Bland affects not just statistics, but the way the entire unit communicates and operates. Football is a team sport at the highest level, and even one missing piece can have cascading effects throughout the game plan. Another aspect worth noting is the psychological impact of returning players. When someone like Overshawn steps back onto the field, it lifts the morale of the entire defensive unit. Players trust him to make plays, to direct traffic, and to cover critical assignments. Leadership in football isn't just about calling plays. It's about setting a tone, inspiring confidence, and creating a mindset where everyone feels capable of performing at their best. Overshawn's journey back from injury is a testament to that type of influence. Even before he fully returns to game action, his presence in meetings, walkthroughs, and practice scenarios can elevate the preparation of the entire team. The Cowboys' approach to reintegrating injured players is meticulous. Each week involves careful evaluation of performance in practice, monitoring of recovery metrics, and strategic decision-making about when and how to reintroduce players to game situations. It's a process that balances the urgency of winning games with the necessity of long-term health and career longevity. The coaching staff and medical team are constantly analyzing data, watching film, and adjusting plans to make sure that when Overshawn or other returning players hit the field, they can perform at the highest level without risking further injury. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could be the NFL's most shocking move of the offseason, whispers are swirling that Jordan Love, the quarterback formerly of the Green Bay Packers, has reportedly agreed to terms with the Dallas Cowboys. While nothing has been officially confirmed, sources close to the situation suggest that the Cowboys are looking to shake up their quarterback situation in a way that could reverberate across the league. Love, who spent several seasons behind Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, has long been seen as a player with untapped potential. His tenure with the Packers was a mix of flashes of brilliance and frustrating inconsistency, leaving fans and analysts debating whether he could ever lead a team on a full-time basis. The rumor that he may now be headed to Dallas has sent shockwaves through NFL circles, not only because of the historic rivalry between the Packers and Cowboys, but also because of what this could mean for both teams' futures. Insiders suggest that the Cowboys are intrigued by Love's arm strength, mobility, and ability to make plays under pressure. The franchise has been searching for stability at the quarterback position, and Love could be seen as a high-risk, high-reward option. Meanwhile, the Packers, reportedly unwilling to commit to a long-term plan centered around Love, may have seen the door open for a blockbuster trade or free agent departure. Fans across the league are divided. Some see this as a bold move by Dallas, potentially setting up a quarterback controversy that could dominate headlines for months. Others are skeptical, pointing to Love's uneven track record and questioning whether he can thrive outside of Green Bay's system. Social media has exploded with speculation, memes, and debates as everyone tries to imagine what the Cowboys' offense might look like with Love at the helm. While official announcements are still pending, the mere possibility of this transfer has reignited conversations about the shifting power dynamics in the NFL. If the rumors prove true, Jordan Love in a Cowboys jersey could mark one of the most unexpected twists of the season, leaving fans, analysts, and rival teams alike scrambling to adjust to a new reality. For now, all eyes are on Dallas and Green Bay, as the NFL community holds its breath, waiting to see if this sensational story becomes reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.